Most people think farming needs land and big money. But across the United States, people are building indoor farming businesses inside small rooms with less than $1,000. They start with one green, sell it every week, and scale the same system again and again. Stay till the end, because this video breaks down the exact setup, budget, and profit margins, and shows how a small indoor green system can grow step by step into a $1 million farming business. Space setup. This farming business begins with a very small indoor space. It does not require land, windows, or outdoor access. A single empty room, garage, basement, or spare storage area is enough to start. The minimum space required is about 6 by 8 feet, which is smaller than most bedrooms. What matters is control, not size. The space needs to be enclosed so light can be controlled. Curtains, a door, or even simple blackout covering is enough to separate the growing area from the rest of the house. This allows plants to follow a consistent light schedule without interruption. Sunlight is not required at any stage of the process. Normal room temperature is sufficient. No greenhouse heating or cooling systems are needed. As long as the space stays within a comfortable indoor range, crops grow consistently. Extreme heat or cold should be avoided, but most homes already provide suitable conditions. The area should be clean and organized before setup begins. Floors are cleared, walls remain bare, and enough room is left to move between shelves comfortably. The goal is to create a simple controlled zone where plants grow without disturbance. Once prepared, the empty space quickly transforms into a production area. Vertical racks are placed against walls, leaving walking space in the center. Power outlets are checked to support lighting timers. The area becomes dedicated to growing only, which helps maintain consistency and cleanliness. This step is important because it defines the foundation of the business. A properly prepared space ensures predictable growth, stable routines, and smooth expansion later. Starting small allows growers to learn the system without risk, while maintaining full control over production from day one. Racks and lights. Once the space is ready, the next step is installing racks and lighting. This is where vertical farming begins. Metal shelving racks are used because they are strong, affordable, and easy to assemble. Each rack creates multiple growing levels in the same footprint, which allows more trays to fit into a small area without crowding. Shelves should be evenly spaced, so plants have enough room to grow without touching the lights above. LED grow lights are mounted on every shelf level. These lights replace sunlight completely and provide plants with consistent energy every day. The lights are fixed directly above the trays, so light reaches plants evenly from edge to edge. Proper placement matters because uneven lighting leads to uneven growth. Each shelf becomes its own controlled growing zone. A timer is connected to the lights to automate the daily cycle. The standard schedule is 16 hours on and 8 hours off. This gives plants enough energy to grow quickly while still allowing a rest period. Automation is important because it removes guesswork. Lights turn on and off at the same time every day without manual control. Distance between the light and the trays is kept between 12 and 18 inches. This range provides strong light without overheating or stressing the plants. Lights placed too close can damage young greens, while lights placed too far slow growth. Keeping a fixed distance ensures predictable results. Once installed, the system runs quietly in the background. Lights switch on automatically each day, creating a stable environment. There is no need to adjust settings constantly. The racks stay fixed, the lights follow the timer, and plants receive the same conditions every cycle. This step transforms an empty room into a functional farm. With racks and lights in place, the space is no longer storage or unused area. It becomes a production system designed for speed, consistency, and easy repetition. Everything that follows builds on this foundation. Vegetables grown in this indoor farming model. This indoor farming model focuses on a small group of fast-growing vegetables that are already in high demand across the United States. These vegetables are chosen because they grow quickly, require little space, and sell consistently to local buyers. The goal is not variety. The goal is reliability and speed. The most common vegetables grown in this system are microgreens. These include broccoli, radish, pea shoots, sunflower, and mustard greens. Microgreens grow extremely fast and are ready for harvest within 7 to 10 days. They are popular with restaurants because of their intense flavor, strong color, and visual appeal. Health-focused consumers also prefer microgreens due to their nutrient density. All of these vegetables grow well under LED lighting and controlled conditions. They do not require deep root systems or long maturation periods. This makes them ideal for shallow trays and vertical shelves. Because they are harvested young, quality remains consistent and growth cycles stay short. These crops move quickly, store well, and generate repeat orders. That is why vegetables are the foundation of this indoor farming business. Daily routine. Once planting is complete, the daily routine stays simple and repeatable. This business does not require constant attention or long working hours. Most growers check their setup once per day, usually at the same time each day to maintain consistency. The first task is checking moisture levels. Trays are touched lightly to see if the surface feels dry. Water is added only when needed. Overwatering is avoided because excess moisture slows root development and can lead to mold. Controlled watering keeps plants healthy and growth steady. Lighting runs automatically through the timer. This consistency is one of the reasons growth remains predictable. Airflow is checked briefly to ensure nothing is blocked. Plants grow best when fresh air circulates gently around them. No complex systems are required. Simple fans keep air moving and prevent humidity buildup. This routine takes about 10 to 15 minutes per day. There is no digging, no outdoor exposure, and no heavy labor. Growth continues even if a grower misses a day because the system is designed to operate steadily. Over several days, visible growth becomes noticeable, with trays filling out evenly by day 5. Harvest. Harvesting happens quickly and on schedule. Most crops are ready between 7 and 10 days, depending on the type of greens. Timing matters because these crops are harvested young to maintain freshness, flavor, and texture. Clean scissors are used to cut the greens just above the growing medium. Cuts are made evenly across the tray to maintain quality. Each tray produces a consistent amount of market-ready greens, which makes planning easier. Freshness is critical at this stage. Greens are handled carefully and prepared for immediate use or packaging. Because the farm is local and indoor, there is no waiting period between harvest and sale. This is one of the biggest advantages of the model. Harvesting does not stop production. Once a tray is cut, it is cleaned and replanted, keeping the cycle moving. Some trays are always growing, some are always being planted, and some are always being harvested. This reliability allows growers to commit to weekly supply without worrying about delays. Packaging and selling. After harvest, the focus shifts to presentation and delivery. Fresh greens are placed into simple food-grade containers that protect the product while keeping it visible. Packaging is kept clean and minimal. Labels include the product name and harvest date, which helps buyers track freshness and builds trust over time. Once packed, the greens are stored in a standard refrigerator. Because the produce is harvested locally and handled carefully, it stays fresh longer than greens shipped from distant farms. This extended freshness is one of the key reasons buyers prefer indoor growers. Selling is done locally. Restaurants are often the first customers because they need fresh greens every week and value consistent quality. Health-focused local stores are another strong option, especially those that prioritize local sourcing. Farmers markets provide additional exposure and allow growers to build direct relationships with repeat buyers. The most important part of selling is consistency. Growers do not chase one-time sales. They focus on weekly repeat buyers who place the same orders regularly. This creates predictable demand and stable income. Once a few reliable buyers are secured, selling becomes routine rather than stressful. Deliveries are simple and short distance. Many growers deliver on the same day each week, which strengthens trust and long-term relationships. Pricing strategy that actually works. Pricing in this indoor farming business is straightforward and based on consistency, not guesswork. Growers price their product by tray and by container, which keeps calculations simple and predictable. Each tray produces a known quantity of greens, so pricing starts from output rather than assumptions. Most growers break trays into standard containers that buyers recognize easily. Pricing per container allows flexibility when selling to different customers. Bulk pricing is offered by reducing the per container price slightly when restaurants commit to weekly orders. Premium pricing works in this model because freshness and locality matter. Indoor greens last longer, taste better, and reduce spoilage. Growers do not compete on price alone. They compete on reliability and quality. First customer acquisition without ADS. The first customers are found locally, not online. Most growers start by walking into nearby restaurants during slow hours. There is no selling pressure. The goal is to introduce a local source of fresh greens that can deliver weekly. The sample box method works best. Growers prepare a small box with a few containers of fresh greens and leave it with the chef or kitchen manager. The product speaks for itself. Freshness, color, and texture create immediate interest without long explanations. Weekly delivery, same-day harvest, consistent supply, no long-term contracts required. This lowers resistance and makes it easy for restaurants to test the product. Once a restaurant places a small trial order, repeat orders often follow naturally. If the kitchen uses the greens successfully and sees less waste, the order becomes part of their regular supply routine. Scaling without changing the system. Scaling this business does not require new methods or complicated changes. Growth happens by adding one more rack at a time. The same lights, trays, and routines are used. Nothing new needs to be learned. When demand increases, growers add a rack to the existing space or expand into another small room. The daily routine stays the same. More trays are planted, more trays are harvested, and more containers are delivered. The process does not change. Buyers remain the same. Restaurants that already trust the grower simply increase order size. Volume grows naturally as production increases. This approach avoids common scaling mistakes. There is no sudden jump in complexity. No new crops are added. No new schedules are created. The system grows by repetition, not reinvention. Because costs scale slowly and output increases steadily, growth remains controlled. Many growers reinvest profits to add capacity instead of taking loans. This keeps risk low and margins stable. Scaling works in this model because the foundation is simple. The same system that works at a small level works at a larger level. Consistency is maintained, buyers stay satisfied, and growth remains predictable. Simple costing and earning example. 1. Vegetable microgreens. Let's take one metal rack with 4 shelves as a basic example. Each shelf holds 4 trays. That means 16 trays total per rack. Microgreens are harvested in 7 to 10 days, so 1 full harvest per week is realistic. Yield per tray. Each tray produces around 8 ounces of market-ready microgreens. Total weekly output 16 trays times 8 ounces equals 128 ounces per week. Now let's look at pricing. Average selling price in the US microgreens sell to restaurants at around $2.50 per ounce on bulk weekly orders. Weekly revenue 128 ounces times $2.50 equals $320 per week. Monthly revenue $320 times 4 weeks equals $1,280 per month from just one rack. Now let's look at costs. Weekly variable costs, approximate, seeds, water, electricity, combined average around $40 to $60 per week for this size setup. Let's use $60 to stay conservative. Weekly profit estimate $320 revenue minus $60 costs equals $260 per week. Monthly profit estimate $260 times 4 equals $1,040 per month. This is from one rack, one vegetable, using the same routine every week. When the initial setup cost stays under $1,000, many growers recover their investment within the first 1 to 3 months, depending on sales speed. Scaling is simple. Add one more rack. Same process, same buyers, double the output. This is why this indoor farming model works. Not because of hype, but because the math stays simple and repeatable. This indoor farming model works because it removes uncertainty. It can start small, run part-time, and scale gradually without changing the process. If you want more step-by-step breakdowns of real farming businesses that people are already running, subscribe to the channel. And if there is another farming or indoor business you want explained clearly from start to finish, leave it in the comments.